Hare Krishna. Let me keep full screen. Now visible. Audio, video, everything fine?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So Maharaja Santanu and Devotee are two brothers. Devotee is the elder brother. So it is normally advisable that always elder brother take charge of the kingdom. However, the minister of Santanu tricked by sending some Brahmana to deviate Devaki from Vedic principles. Instigated by these Brahmana, Devaki got irreligious and blasphemed Vedic principles. So he was unfit to rule the kingdom. When all the Brahmanas told that the reason for rain are not coming is because that he has taken the charge of his elder brother, which is not religious. Then Santanu approached Devapi to take the charge of ruling the kingdom. However, being knowing his fallen state, he was not agreed to the proposal of Santanu. So Santanu had no choice but to again become the ruler. Knowing the religious willingness of Santanu and acceptance as per the benefit of the common people, Indra became very pleased upon Santanu and showered rains, the problem was resolved. So Devapi, being realizing his positions, being fallen from Vedic principles, he started meditations. And through the mystic yoga, he was satisfied in himself and still living in a place called Kalapa Grama. After the end of this Kali Sandhyayam, Kalki avatar will appear and the Soma dynasty will be disappear. After that, when the next Satya Yuga will start, Devapi will still continue to maintain the Moon dynasty, Soma Vansha. Soma dynasty means which is starting from Somadeva or Chandradeva. So this dynasty is called also Kaurava because starting from Kuru, Santanu. And Santanu married two wives, Satyavati and Ganga. So there is one more in this dynasty, Satyavati and Parasara begot Vyasa. That is a story that Parasara Muni, while traveling in the boat, come to realize that the best time to beget a children who will become the writer of all the Vedic literature, scriptures, a great personality who will be none other than the incarnation of Vishnu who can take birth at this particular time. And to beget a woman is required, and the association between uh, topmost saintly personality and woman is very much required. So Parasara, knowing the time, place, and situations, is urging that to bring to invoke Vyasadeva, he approached Satyavati and also told that you will not lose your virginity. So that was the power of advanced sages, topmost sages like Parasara. Even though his purpose was only progeny, there is no desire of sense gratifications at all. That is why Lord Krishna himself represents the prajanana when it was for the purpose of establishing religiosity. Kamo Asmi. So he is that Kama who is brings a nice children, nice Krishna conscious children. So this association between Satyavati and Parasara is not irreligious by so-called misunderstanding, people may misinterpret, but that is never the case. It is truly by the arrangement of the Lord for the service of the Lord. And that should be the purpose of association between men and women. However, one must follow the religious practices. So Satyavati became the mother of Vyasa. Similarly, Santanu and Satyavati begot children. Chitrangada, Vichitravirja. Vichitravirja was weak, so he was affected by tuberculosis and weak heart, so he died because of heart attack. So Ganga was the wife of Santanu, who begot Bhīṣmadeva. Bhīṣmadeva becomes the brother of Vichitravirja, elder brother, and Vichitravirja is the younger brother. For the marriage of Vichitravirja, there was a swayamvar of three girls, Ambika, Ambalika, and Amba. On behalf of Vichitravirja, Bhīṣmadeva fought and defeated all the kings and abducted Ambika, Ambalika, and Amba. Out of them, Ambika, Ambalika accepted. Amba thought that Bhīṣmadeva abducting, so he got attracted to Bhīṣmadeva as his as her husband. So because these Vedic principles that once a woman is attracted to someone, then to maintain her chastity, she must choose her as husband. So Amba preferred that I cannot marry anyone else but Bhīṣmadeva. So she approached Parshurama. This we'll see in the next. This I have explained. So Bhīṣmadeva was having the vow that he will remain brahmachari forever. Even though Parshurama, hearing the news, and Amba approached Parshurama, Parshurama understood that it was not the wise step taken by Bhīṣmadeva. The modesty of any woman cannot be disrespected by this kind of activities. One should not ever apply forces to break the freedom of any woman. There is a freedom for women to choose the right husband. Parsuram, being not happy, ordered Bhīṣmadeva to marry Amba. However, Bhīṣmadeva could not obey the instructions of his martial guru. But one should never come to this state that he has to disobey the order of his guru. There is difference between spiritual master and martial teacher. However, who is the martial art teacher is Parshuram. So the guru Parshuram, martial art teacher, not only teaches the martial skills but also teaches the values, the spiritual life, everything. So being the expert teacher, Supreme Personality of Godhead incarnation himself, Parshuram should be regarded as spiritual master as well as martial teacher. Drona also taught martial arts as well as spiritual values. But most of the followers were not following that, other than Pandavas. Even his own son was not following. It is required for a guru who is taking the position of guru should spiritually guide and he himself become the pure devotee. That was lacking in Drona, not being in the pure platform. In order to explain little better, I can give you some example. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Bhagavad Gita all explains the qualities of a devotee who is pleasing to Krishna or who pleases Krishna. Out of them, to summarize and easily remember, there are 8 extractions of the qualities. What are they? The 4 regulative principles should not be deviated. That is the common minimum things. If any of the things are getting deviated by a person, it is to be understood that he has not received the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead to become a pure devotee. He might have received many other good qualities, many other guna, many other opulences, but has not received the mercy to become a pure devotee. So for satya, daya or kshama, satya, daya, tapaha, suchi, suchi is the cleanliness, should never have any kind of illicit relationship with women. That cleanses, not only cleaning the body regularly by bathing in water, uh, doing Gayatri and following regulative principles, that cleans the external body. The internal mind or heart can be cleaned through nirmamo nirahankara, through keeping humility, mercy, compassion in the heart, and not being attracted to sense desire or being afflicted by arrogance. That is the detailed explanations of suchi. At least minimum, one must not do any illegal or illicit relationship with women. No meat eating. By meat eating, the daya kshama potency got destroyed. So if your devotee is not at in this level even higher, that he is exercising daya, paraupakara. What is dharma is that paraupakara. By your activity, if somebody is getting benefited, that is paraupakara. What is papa is that parapidana. Parapidana is papa. So by this thing, a devotee who is received the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he regularly perform the qualities of Jivadaya. And how he is doing Jivadaya? The way he has released the devotional enjoyment, the pleasure of various tastes coming from the devotional service. And he could come out of the miseries of material world, tritapa. The same thing he is giving to somebody. That is the Jivadaya. If somebody himself is not getting the happiness, he cannot give the happiness to others. Giving food, shelter for a temporary period, 1 day or 2 days or a year, is not really resolving the problems of a human being. So, what is the ultimate mercy? One may do the same thing, even to the creatures, birds, and beasts, one should give some food. And it is wise that you always distribute Krishna Prasad instead of giving ordinary foods. And chant the holy name for the benefit, Sankirtana, through which every living entity will be benefited. And to benefit a human being, you may give the transcendental message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead after developing a right Shraddha in him. You cannot tell directly the Krishna consciousness, the topmost confidential knowledge of surrenderance to Krishna. But Prabhupada created this Bhaktivedanta Institute under the directorship of our Gurudev, Dr. T.D. Singh, which is the primary aim is to develop scientific faith initially, and gradually they can be trained into the confidential knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And that is the practice. When we want to spread, fulfill the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, পৃথিবীতে আছে যত নগরাদিগ্রাম সর্বত প্রচার হবে মোর দিব্য নাম. But there is a problem in preaching Divyanam everywhere, because Lord Krishna himself restricted that you cannot preach to Asradhadhalu, those who are not having faith, those who are not austere, those who are not devotional, those who are not doing devotional service. They cannot be preached. So here is the role of Bhaktivedanta Institute. Through a scientific presentations may bring a person into the state of Shraddha to become faithful, not envious to Krishna, understand who Krishna is, then he may be reached. So that is Kshama, daya or Kshama, both compassion. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Soni Chaiva Sopake Pandita Samadarsina. Such a devotee who is discharging this level of compassion, humility, and devotion will be definitely at the platform where he sees everybody as the part and parcel of Lord, and Lord is being situated everywhere. Then third thing is that no illegal mean of earning money, no gambling. So any form of cheating propensity to earn money is gambling. Then final one is no intoxication. So these are the four regulative principles. By intoxication, austerity getting destroyed. By gambling, satya, truthful is getting destroyed. By meditating, the daya or kshama potency getting destroyed. By illicit relationship with women, the cleanliness, suchi, got destroyed. So it is very easy to remember. A person who has received the mercy, who is eligible to become guru, must not deviate in any of these four principles. Not only that, three more are still there. Labha, puja, pratistha. His mentality should be completely free from three more things. Labha. While doing any activities for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, it should be only for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead, not for his own personal sense gratification called a labha. So sense gratification are various kind. It is not direct sense enjoyment, that is called gross only, but subtle sense enjoyment are there. Just like getting uh, liking by the people praises, and some other merits like through social activities, through recognition, through rewards. So this kind of level of sense gratification is more subtle and even more affected by the devotional principles. Devotional is against the devotional principles. So gross one may identify and work on that, but subtlers are not even identifiable by himself. So here is the role of the spiritual master and other sadhu as Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru help elevating the subtler level of sense gratification. Labha. Puja, expecting that others worship, others pranam, others dandavat. So scripture says when somebody is offering dandavat, pranam, respects, one should feel very uneasy that there is something wrong in my teaching, that my followers are interested to glorify me instead of Supreme Personality of Godhead. That should be the mood of a person. So his preaching should in a such a way that the main objective of spiritual life is to glorify Krishna. A person he himself may not accept the glorifications of the followers. Sometimes Guru may accept the glorification of the disciples. He is not accepting that for himself, but he is surrendering to Vyasadeva. That is why the asana is called a Vyasa asana. and gradually it reaches to Krishna. That is the disciplic succession. Services comes through Guru Parampara and the service offering goes through Guru Parampara. So the glorification of Krishna happens through Guru Parampara and the glorification of Krishna from the devotees goes through Guru Parampara. That is natural. But if it is having something that the Guru himself is enjoying the glorification of the disciples, then that is not the pure devotions. Having the mentality that to become Guru is the worst thing. Those who are having a mentality of Guru, especially in this modern age, gradually they claim themselves to Krishna, that I am incarnations. So many things happened. Then when a Westerner, they asked Prabhupada, you are also God. Prabhupada said, no, no, I am not God. I am a devotee of God. Then again he said, no, no, I am not devotee of God. I am trying to become a devotee of God. So this level of humility and dependency on Supreme Personality of Godhead and making very clear to the followers that the glorification of Krishna is the only essence. And in Vyas Puja, it is the duty of all disciples to glorify Guru, but it is the duty of Guru to carry forward all this glorification to Vyasadeva and Krishna. That's why the puja is not called Guru Puja, but Vyasa Puja. So it is very important that labha, puja, and pratistha must be taken care very carefully. And devotee at this level, his bhajana is utilized, whatever his bhajana he is doing, is utilized to protect or to uplift the disciples or the devotees who are getting training. All the bhajanas of Guru or a spiritual master or any devotee who is completely surrendered is given in mercy to others, not for the self evolutions. Even one should not desire his own evolution out of his own bhajana. So when one realizes that he is the spirit soul, that means he is realizing that he is spirit soul. Sarva aptakamo or swayam kama. All the required desires are auto-fulfilled when a devotee realizes that he is a spirit soul who is part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, there is no need when one is no need of any utilizations of bhajan potency when one is self-realized. Because he has realized that he is part and parcel. That means there is no anartha. There is no covering. When there is no covering, then what to do benefit further? But bhajana can be utilized to mature in bhajana, to progress in a bhajana. Bhajan means the satisfaction of Krishna. Anything you do, chanting or service, that are all glorification of Supreme Personality of Godhead. By utilizing any of your skill, science, spirituality, philosophy, any of the three streams can be utilized for the pleasure of God. That are also factually bhajana. So through bhajana, one should do better bhajana. That expectation is the right expectations. But through bhajana, if one is trying to elevate his positions, he is spirit soul. So there is nothing required for elevation. Uncover is required for the spirit soul. And what is the elevation is looking after? Elevation of the body. If somebody is giving some suffering, he should exercise kshama. Not he should exercise his spiritual power to curse him or to blaspheme him, then his bhajana potential will be reduced. This is very subtle thing actually. When one is doing bhajana, it should be for bhajana only. All the merits of bhajana should engage in increasing the bhajana. Bhajana means glorification of the Lord. So there is no second desire. Bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kama. So when there is a intention of doing own self benefit and he is not self-realized, then he will think about benefiting the body, which is not the right platform. If somebody who is at this level, then he can be called as Santa, which is the 8th minimum qualification of a devotee who has received the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what are the 8 now? Minimum 8. There are 26 qualities explained, many others. So at least this minimum 8 thing you can see, then you may think that he is a pure devotee to whom you can take shelter. Must not deviate from 4 regulative principle, must not indulge in labha, puja, pratistha, should be very peaceful while discharging the service to Guru and Krishna. So that is the result of all this is this. Bhava. He is discharging the service to Lord with a bhava. And because he is having bhava, so he is peaceful. Bhagavad Gita says that. Nasti buddhir ajuktasya nacha juktasya bhavana nacha abhavayata santi asantasya kuta sukham. So he is peaceful, he is happy because of he is adhered to the principles. These 7 things I think very easily can be remembered by everybody. 4 regulative principles, then 3 more things. Labha, puja, pratistha. And this is the test one should do before accepting anyone as spiritual master. So anyway, I was just talking about Bhīṣmadeva. So these qualities you can see how he can disregard the order of Parshurama. Yet the Parshurama didn't become unhappy upon him. So Bhīṣmadeva may not be imitated. There can be many other arguments that he was not his spiritual master, not accepted as spiritual master. But his Supreme Personality of Godhead is as good as spiritual master. There is no other spiritual master also. So Bhīṣmadeva's spiritual master is Parshuram, and martial art teacher is also Parshuram. When the authority is such, who is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can never disregard. However, his principles of adherence to the determinations, which will cover at the end. Determination power. He is second after Dhruva Maharaj. Whose determination power? Determination to remain brahmacharya. Determination not to deviate the suchi principles which he has established. So Parshuram given the choice that your choice of adhering to the vows, and when he has not objected the order of the spiritual master in a blunt way, rather he explained his situation that I had kept this promise and it is impossible for a Kshatriya to break his promise. You now guide me what to do. What is the right thing for me to do? Can I break my promise? For all other cases, especially in this age of Kali, after this, when Lord Krishna instructed Bhishma Pitama, no promise is greater than to maintain the religiosity. When your promise is going against the establishment of religion, that is irreligion itself. So any kind of irreligion is to be given up. So here the promise of Bhishma was taking the shelter of irreligion. You can see that is the reason that the Sakuni, Duryodhana and all other Kaurava troops who were taking the path of irreligion were misutilizing this determination and pratigya shakti of Bhīṣmadeva. So Lord Krishna advised that anything which is apparently appear to be irreligion, but giving the establishment and shelter to religion is the real religion. And anything which appear to be religion, but in return is establishing irreligiosity, is not true religion, is irreligion itself. So any such religion must be given up. For now onward, any of our devotees should give up anything which is instructed by Guru and Krishna. There is no chance of disobey. When Guru says you that you do this, you do that. Because the satisfaction of Krishna, that has to be learned from gopis. When queens disregarded to give the dust of their lotus feet to cure Krishna, all the Dwaraka queen, they thought that we will go to hell, so we will not give. But gopis didn't thought like that. Gopis said, we are ready to go to hell as many durations, as long as possible. We can go and remain in Naraka, but let Krishna be cured. So they all gave as much dust you need, you take. So that is the difference. That bhajana means satisfaction of the Krishna. So keeping in center of satisfaction of Krishna, one may always obey the order. There is no chance that at any point of time one can disobey the spiritual master or Krishna. The order of Krishna, which is given in Bhagavad Gita, can be followed in accordance with the spiritual master. He can never be disregarded. However, if you see, the bhajan is also manifested by Bhīṣmadeva, even though he disregarded, but he has not disregarded directly. He has approached his spiritual master and he also asked that what to do. Then Parshuram himself told, in this case, you have to fight and defeat me. And seeing the exemplary skills learnt by the spiritual master himself and applied to the fight, then Parshuram got very much pleased that he is a true learner who has learned everything that was required. Even so, by this arrangement, Parshuram himself became very happy. So he had not made his guru unhappy at all. So that kind of level of following ability is not there in ordinary people. So we may not imitate Bhishma Pitamaha. We cannot disregard the instruction of our guru. So certain things, like whenever we receive the instructions, we may give our situations and ask remedies that Gurudev, I am fully obliged whatever you ordered, and these are the pain and troubles. Please give me strength and energies and guidance that how can I overcome. But the instructions of the Guru must be followed, and that is the essence of the religious principles. So respect and autonomy for women. So this the narrations that woman has the full right to choose the right husband. One should not apply any kind of force or any kind of tricks. Rather, it should be completely and fully voluntary acceptance of women for any husband. So these principles was not what was done by Bhīṣmadeva, was not for the good of society, and that was the reason that so much troubles come. And Parshurama also not accepted this. He himself told that it is a deviation of the path and tried to find a solution, which was having some reactions because Bhishma Pitama maintained his vows. There was so many problems. All this Mahabharata happened, and if Bhishma Pitama could have broken his promise, then there might not be this kind of situations. So a Samartha should never keep any weak point that irreligious person can take advantage of. Samartha means who is having the power to protect the ordinary people should utilize that power for the protection of ordinary people only, and should think about all the future consequences. One may not just move by the present situations, just like he has to promise in front of Satyavati, but he could do something else instead of directly promising for brahmacharya life. Though brahmacharya life is very good for spiritual progress, but he was not a mendicant. He was a kshatriya. He had also duty. So it is not that everybody has to practice Krishna conscious only becoming a brahmachari. The grihastha are also required. If there is no grihastha, how brahmachari will be maintained? If nobody will give money, then how the preaching work will go? So some people should go to grihastha life, but it is not by the forces of the mind, but by the desire of the Guru and Krishna. If Guru desires that he can be maintained as grihastha, if his ability to control the senses is not happening through brahmacharya life, Guru may instruct him, okay, you can enter into the uh, grihastha life. Maybe grihastha is a easier process to control his senses. So that is when you give yourself to Krishna and Guru, then Guru will decide. Krishna will decide. So giving up samarpana is the subtlemost things. When one is not completely surrendered to Krishna, then there will be lots of problem. When one is surrendered to Krishna, whether he is a grihastha, either brahmachari, vanaprastha, or sannyas, everything will be sublime and for the pleasure of Krishna. So this conflict of Amba that causes all these problems, I have already narrated that. So Bhishma Pitamaha, with his great ability and surrenderness and humility, could please Parashurama. Not only this is the case, there is one more case also when again he instigated Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Supreme Personality of Godhead compelled to break his promise and keep the promise of Bhishma. Again, I am telling that we should not imitate these things. Krishna was compelled to break the vows and keep the vows of Bhishma. Bhishma uh, kept a vow that he will definitely force Krishna to hold the weapon. So in Mahabharata Yudhya, in the fight, he showed his prowess by shooting arrows, and some arrows were also touched Krishna. So Krishna enjoyed a Veera Rasa, Supreme Personality of Godhead, sometimes enjoy Veera Rasa through his devotees, especially in the childhood pastimes in Madhumangala, Subala, and other friends, Balaram. They were enjoying the Veera Rasa by some mug fight, and it was a love fight. So similarly, the fight between Krishna and Bhīṣmadeva, Arjuna and Bhīṣmadeva. So it was a fight to release the praise of Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. But it is not for others to uh, see. The Veera Rasa was one of the 12 rasa. So when Supreme Personality of Godhead want to release that, he chooses the right devotee. It has to be chosen by Krishna, not by you yourselves. So anyway, so Bhishma Pitamaha is a great personality who had all the possible mean to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can never imitate him. So exemplary determination power of Bhishma Deva, devotional integrity, his divine recognition, and ultimate. Finally, he surrendered fully to Krishna. So these are the epitomize of his exceptional status, being a great warrior, great devotee, and a celibate brahmachari who is fully devoted to duty and protections of ordinary people and protector of dharma is to be understood from the life of Bhīṣmadeva, who had desireless enthusiasm. He has observed the vows of brahmacharya. You have to understand that he is having all enthusiasm but no desire. Normally, in this age, you can see people do not want to work without a kama sankalpa. Ja sarva samarambha kama sankalpa varjita, Bhagavad Gita. So while starting any work, we have some kama sankalpa. What will get out of it? Labha. What is the benefit? Why should I do this? Even nowadays, some people, if you ask them to come to the temple, he will say that, oh, I have nothing to ask. Why should I go to the temple? That means they go to the temple to ask something, not for the pleasure of God. So this is the level of fall down in this age of Kali. One has to develop topmost enthusiasm and without any desire. Kama sankalpa parchita, but the only desire to please Krishna. So that is desireless enthusiasm. Utsaha, told by Rupa Goswami. Determination, you can see the determination power. That's what we have explained so far. Exemplary determination power. Even Supreme Personality of Godhead has to compromise or compelled to fulfill the determination power of Bhīṣmadeva. Is second after Dhruva Maharaj's determinations. Patience, who patiently tolerated everything, all the problems they caused, Kauravas caused, every attack to break the determinations was there. Yet he has exhibited topmost patience and wait for the ultimate good to happen, ultimate good for self and others. Patiently he waited, and he was always trying to see that the things are well settled for the peaceful establishment of the citizens and himself. He practiced compassion, kindness, and service for the elevation in the spiritual path. And what is the essence to be learned from the life of Bhishma Pitamaha is that his hope to establish these religious principles, and finally, with the help of Krishna, he could do it, endeavoring continuously, avoiding any kind of negative influence. All these principles are taught by Rupa Goswami. Utsaha, Nischaya, Dharya, Vishwasa, Tat Karma Pravartanat, Satam Brute, Sangatyaga. So these are the principles, and Bhishma Pitamaha is the most exemplary quality exhibited devotees, pure devotee. So he is Mahajana. Mahajana Jena Gataha Sapantha. So we must be inspired by the topmost devotional qualities exhibited by Bhishma Pitama. Hare Krishna. Any questions? A little exceeded time. Haribol, Prabhuji. Is there any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for the class. If our devotees have any question, please come forward.